$50 billion, 4,60,000 crore rupees, gone in one single week. That's how much value literally evaporated from India's top IT companies this past February. And the reason? Well, it turns out one AI company just proved that the coding job you have, that can now be done by a machine. Okay, let's get right into this because what's happening isn't just about stocks and numbers. This is about your job, your career, your future.
First, you have to understand the sheer scale of what just went down. This was not a small correction in the market. This was an earthquake.
$50 billion. Just take a second and let that number actually sink in. That's the amount of wealth that was wiped from the books of companies you know: TCS, Infosys, Wipro, HCL.
And for those of us here in India, that's 4,60,000 crore rupees. It's a staggering, almost unimaginable loss of investor confidence.
And the speed of it all, that's what's truly terrifying. All of this value just erased in a matter of days. So the big question is, why? What happened?
Here's the kicker. The cause was an artificial intelligence company called Anthropic. They launched a new suite of tools. And these aren't just toys. These things can write complex code, they can automate finance operations, handle compliance workflows, basically the bread and butter of the entire Indian IT services industry.
You don't need to be a detective to connect these dots. In February 2026, Anthropic drops its new AI tools. That very same month, the Nifty IT index completely collapses by 21%. This wasn't just a bad month. This was the single worst monthly fall in 18 years, worse than the pandemic crash. So no, this was not a coincidence. This was a direct reaction.
But look, this isn't just some story for people who watch the stock market. This is a job story. And more importantly, it's your job story. Because what's happening on Wall Street is just a symptom of a much, much deeper problem that's been brewing in the job market for a while now.
So publicly, you have all the industry leaders putting on a brave face. You go to these NASSCOM events and the official line is, "We're not scared of AI." But here's the thing, the data, the actual numbers, they're telling a completely different and frankly a much more frightening story.
Let's just look at the raw numbers here from Xpheno. Tech hiring slumped 24% at the start of this year. We went from 136,000 active job openings down to just 103,000. That's one of the lowest levels of hiring we've seen in the last 6 years.
And it's not just the big service companies feeling the pain. Over 4,500 employees have been laid off from Indian startups since just last July. And remember, these were supposed to be the safe, high-growth companies of the future.
And this right here, this shows you the mood on the ground. A recent survey found that 49%, so nearly half of all Indian millennials working in tech, are afraid that AI could replace their jobs in the next 3 to 5 years. We're not talking about a decade from now. We're talking about 3 to 5 years. The anxiety is real.
But hey, if all of that data still isn't enough to convince you, maybe you should hear it from the person who actually built the tool that's causing all this chaos.
This is Boris Cherny. He's an engineer at Anthropic, one of the creators of the very AI that just sent the market into a tailspin. He said, and I'm quoting him directly, "Most internet-based jobs will go away. The role of software engineer will start to go away by 2026. It will be painful. Not 2030, 2026, as in this year."
So let that sink in for a moment. The person who literally built the weapon is now warning you about how dangerous it's about to become. When the creator of the tool tells you it's going to be painful, it is probably time to stop what you're doing and listen very, very carefully.
Okay, I know this all sounds really grim, but I promise I'm not here to just scare you. I'm here to show you the exit door, because there is one. So let's walk through the exact roadmap you need to follow to make your career AI-proof.
All right, here it is, your 7-step AI-proof roadmap. Let's break it down step by step. First up, stop being so easily replaceable. You need to move up the value chain. Get out of just writing code and into things like systems architecture and direct client communication. Second, you need to become the AI operator. Don't fight these tools, master them. I'm talking Claude, Copilot, Cursor. You need to know them inside and out. Third, start targeting GCCs, that's Global Capability Centers, instead of the old-school IT service companies. Why? Because they pay more and they value deep problem-solving, not just manpower. Fourth, you've got to build your proof of work. Get your projects on GitHub, on Kaggle. You have to show people what you can build, not just list it on a resume. Fifth, and this is so critical, Network strategically. A full 40% of hires come from referrals. Your network is your safety net in this new world. Sixth, diversify your skills beyond just code. Combine your tech abilities with deep domain knowledge in a specific field, like healthcare or banking. That combination makes you incredibly valuable. And finally, number 7, you have to learn to get your resume past the ATS. That's the applicant tracking system. It's the robot gatekeeper that rejects 80% of resumes before a human ever even sees them. You have to learn to beat that machine.
You know, every major technological shift in history creates losers, but it also creates massive, massive winners. The only question is which side of that line you're going to be on.
Let's be real, AI will kill jobs. There's just no doubt about it. It's going to eliminate the repetitive, the predictable, the jobs where a person is basically acting like a human machine. But, and this is the important part, it's also going to create new jobs. It's going to empower the person who learns how to use AI as a tool to become way more powerful, more creative, and more valuable than ever before.
Yes, $50 billion were just wiped off the map. That chapter is closing, but a brand new one is opening right now. The people who adapt, the ones who follow the roadmap we just talked about, they're going to be the ones who capture the next $50 billion in value that AI is about to create.
So when it all comes down to it, the only question that really matters now is, will you be one of them? If this opened your eyes, please share it with an IT professional you know. They need to hear this message right now. Subscribe for more of this insider truth and strategy. And I want you to drop a comment below. What is your personal plan to tackle this AI challenge? I read every single one. Thanks for your time.